Jake Marshall, Angel Starr, Dan Gant, Miles Edgeworth. Not to mention Lana and Emma. Everyone involved in this case is connected to those killings 2 years ago. This can't be just a coincidence.
Not
Knowing
you.
Oh.
You just might be able to figure it out. Time to get back to the trial, Mr. Wright. Best of luck.
Better take a good look at this file. Oh.
Anyway, as I always say, Jaden, are you ready to continue?
I'm ready to have this over with, bro.
Alright,
How much more is there to go? I think there's... How many more investigations and trials are there?
one more investigation, one more trial, and obviously we're still in the second trial at the moment, because we've just called Marshall to the stand. I think I have to start this, don't I? Okay, let's peak the audio immediately. Gotta love when you cough and peak the audio, baby! Court will now reconvene for the trial of Miss Lana Skye.
It didn't come back.
Alright, good, I am streaming to you at least. Allow me to call the next witness to the stand. The officer in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day of the crime. Oh yeah, I'm Marshall, aren't I?
Yes, you are.
Witness, please state your name and occupation. This theme's gonna start playing, isn't it? Hell yeah. Me, partner? Oh, I'm just a man, same as you, wandering the trails of civilization. Occasionally helping the elderly cross intersections when needed. Yes, we get it. Oh, I know, you're a patrolman. As for my name, if you listen hard enough, you can hear the howling wind calling it out. To be exact, it's Jake Marshall, Your Honor.
Howling wind? I've never heard Edgeworth described that way before.
Now, Mr. Marshall, let me ask you something. You were in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day the crime took place. Is this correct? According to the papers, partner. What do you mean? A desperado's soul is boundless as the desert sands. No paper can sum it up. Maybe it's best we get on with this quickly. Please share with us your testimony on the day of the crime. In plain old English. This is the first time I'm doing the judge after my bloody illness, so I think I'm still trying to get the voices back.
So, for those with context, it's been like a week since the last recording because...
I think it's been longer than a week.
Well, I was sick first.
You were sick first, and then I was sick.
Then you were sick. I
lost my voice for a bit.
Yeah, I was... I mean, yeah, you lost your voice, but I was, like, genuinely sick.
Yeah.
It was not a good time.
Alright. My job was to keep a wary eye of that bone orchard. They said I was supposed to make rounds 3 times a day, but that ain't my style. Besides, the room's protected by 2 security systems anyway. If I remember right, I was at the street-side saloon at the time it went down. I'm just an innocent traveling man, so if you're out of ammo, it's time to hit the trail. I can't say I particularly care for your attitude. I can't say I particularly care for your beard. You don't see me complaining.
Wait a minute. What do you mean by 2 security systems?
I mean the security cameras in the ID card reader. I reckon even a cowpoke like you knows about those.
Yes, well, what about the fingerprint-activated locks on the evidence lockers?
Fingerprint activated locks? What kind of newfangled doohickey is that?
He's not being very helpful.
He's not that good with machines. Or with following orders. Everyone's got their weakness now, don't they, prosecutor? This one seems like trouble. Okay, Mr. Wright, he's all yours.
Oh.
I can't decide if my favorite character from this case is Marshall or Gant. Because I love Marshall just for like his design and all that, but I love how Gant is in all this.
I can't say I blame you.
Yeah. So, any ideas? So I have kind of forgotten, or do we just?
I think we may just have to press everything
press.
until we get something.
Do you want to quickly look through evidence, because we did get a new piece of evidence at the end of the previous episode.
Right, yeah, let's have a look at the evidence as well.
The newest evidence is the SL9 incident files.
Right.
So do you want to look through that quickly?
Yes.
It probably won't.
I'm trying to jog my memory. It's been so long.
I don't think it will help us right now, but it will help us later, at least. So.
Okay.
Also, by the way, I'm trying to keep talking because during uploading or like scheduling an upload, I got a claim for having the cornered theme from this. So I'm just gonna keep talking because in that way the music won't really be picking up that much. Okay.
Interesting.
What? The claim?
The claim, yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of odd. A little bit.
Victims. Okay. Wait, Neil Marshall.
Yep.
Right. Okay.
So.
Head prosecutor Miles Edgeworth. Lana, Skye, Emma, Skye.
Both witnesses. And the task force. Yeah. So this basically tells you all about the SL9 incident, or like just the main facts. So, main criminal Joe Dark, all the victims that he took, the prosecutor was Edgeworth, the witnesses were Lana and Emma, then the executive investigators were Gant and Lana, head investigators were Goodman, Marshall, and Angel. So, anyway, let's continue with what we pressed.
How exactly did you keep an eye on the evidence room?
I just made sure nothing moved in the security camera monitor. That room's so still, even time dies in there. I was just a caretaker who interred the recordings. I'm just gonna guess.
You interread them?
Videos of nothing aren't that useful. When the time would come, I'd erase the tape. If nothing unusual is recorded, tapes are to be erased every 6 hours. Each time I'd erase a tape, felt like erasing part of my life.
It's a flash for dramatic, but it isn't going to do him any good. So, in actuality, you don't physically enter the evidence room.
Just keep pressing, I guess.
Yeah.
So I can't remember what we need to show and all that.
But you made your rounds on the day of the crime, right?
Ain't you heard a word I said, partner? I told you that ain't my style.
I'm afraid I don't understand. Yeah, me neither.
Fair enough. No desperado I know lets rules get in his way.
No desperados I know join the police force.
So, Officer Marshall, on the day of the crime, just between you and me, I didn't set foot in the evidence room that day. There was a rubber glove stuck in the victim's locker. Do you know anything about that? Sorry, partner. Can't say I do. I haven't been in that crypt in weeks.
How does this guy avoid being fired?
Also, I'm surprised that, I'm surprised they didn't add anything. Because, I will just quickly bring up, we have, obviously, the handprint that was left on Marshall's thing, and it was his fingerprints.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna be a little bit out there. I'm gonna do this just to be safe. and I'm gonna present the bloody handprint.
Objection!
It's not. Nope.
Okay.
There is another place I want to try it on. I want to try it on the I'm just an innocent traveling man, just in case.
Objection!
Nice.
Ah, that was right.
Officer Marshall, doesn't it strike you as odd? That is, you being called in to testify like this?
I like that sprite of Marshall. He's just serious.
After all, you weren't in the security room at the time of the crime.
And yet you dragged me down here. Explain yourself, partner.
It's quite simple. You left a very large trail behind at the scene. Or to be exact, a handprint.
Listen real good, partner. Like I said, I'm the caretaker of that crypt. I pay my respects. That is, make my rounds about once a month. It's only natural my fingerprints will be in there.
Objection!
I only wish it were, officer. But you see, your fingerprints were covered in blood.
Witness, what is the meaning of this? Your blood-stained fingerprints were at the crime scene?
Blood was wiped away. However, a luminol test clearly revealed this. Well, Officer Marshall?
It seems to me there ain't a person in this room with a head on his shoulders.
Excuse you?
I take it you have an explanation then, Officer Marshall. About the bloodstained fingerprints? Very well. You may begin your testimony about your fingerprints, found at the scene of the crime. Like I said, it's only natural for my fingerprints to be in that evidence room. One of them just happened to be in the same place as the bloodstained handprint. The murderer touched the locker where my fingerprints was by chance. The bloodstain and the fingerprints are completely unrelated. Or didn't you know the murderer was wearing gloves? See? I had nothing to do with it.
Was he wearing gloves, though?
I mean, we have the other bloody handprint that was on Gumshoe's locker, which didn't have fingerprints on it.
Do we still have the footage?
We do have, yeah, we have the video camera if you want to, I mean, going through it, we'll quickly go through it to look, but I can't, like, pause it and all that. Do you
Right.
want to specifically look at Marshall's locker or something?
I just want to see if he says the murderer was wearing fingerprints.
Or wearing gloves?
Fingerprints? Wearing gloves, not fingerprints.
Well, I mean, the person pretending to be Goodman is wearing gloves. And they're supposedly who attacked Meekins and all that. But, like, obviously we have the idea that Meekins at first was the murderer of Goodman, but we were able to disprove it. And Meekins isn't wearing gloves.
Right.
So the only person wearing gloves in there was Goodman. The witness's explanation appears valid, although there's room for doubt. Life wouldn't be fun without any doubt, partner. The defense may now cross-examine the witness.
This guy's hiding something. I can feel it. Now's my chance to prove it.
I mean, I have ideas of what we need to do and where, but I'm uncertain.
Spill it. Let's talk about it.
Well, I mean, the fingerprints are on his locker specifically.
Yeah.
But, like, if anything, he'll just bring up the fact that it's
his
just
locker.
chance again, and he'll bring up that it's his locker. I guess we just press for now.
Yeah. That's because you... How did you put it? Pay your respects once a month?
Yeah, that's right. That and one more thing. That locker happens to be mine. What? What do you mean? I mean what I said. That's the locker I used when I was a detective. The locker I still use. All that's in there now, though, is a heap of broken dreams.
I see.
It'd be strange if my prints weren't all over that locker.
Apparently his fingerprint data was never removed from that locker's programming. Must have been using the fingerprint lock all this time without ever even knowing it.
That's, we've at least updated that. Just keep pressing for now, then.
So then, what about the bloody handprint?
Wasn't mine. It's no mystery. Please explain. My locker is covered with my fingerprints. It just so happens... Matter of touch the locker where my fingerprints were by chance.
The chances of that happening are 1,000,000 to 1.
On the contrary, one could argue just the opposite. The chances of that not happening are millions to 1. Get one thing straight, partner. You ain't gonna get no reward for me with a mere fingerprint. Wanna know why? Let's say the fingerprint.
Yeah, but what have we got to disprove any of this?
I mean the video, because in the video you can see something being placed in his locker.
I guess so.
We'll just press through it for now. Let's just press through for now then.
Yeah, let's keep going. I already said unrelated.
You didn't.
Oh, did I? Unrelated? Yeah, I did.
I know you didn't because I was talking the entire time I pressed it. They're as different as night and day. Kinda like cereal and cereal. One's got to do with breakfast, while the other's a type of murder. He's right. Although seemingly alike, they're totally different.
Thanks for pointing out the obvious, Judge. I don't see what
Homonyms.
homonyms, thought so. My brain died there. I don't see what homonyms have to do with this.
Oh, I pressed through.
Can't let him squirm out of this one. I've got to find something. Something decisive to tie Officer Marshall to this crime.
Okay, I think it is I think it's this statement, and I think it's the video.
There's only one way to find out.
And safe's gonna be with it. It's not this one. I'm gonna be honest, I don't really like safe scumming. One of them
Is it
just
gonna be
happened to be in the same place as the bloodstained handprint. One of them just happened to be in the same place as the bloodstained handprint. Like I said, it's only natural for my fingerprints to be in that evidence, right? Murderer touched the locker where my fingerprints was by chance. I mean, I could bring up the fact that the lockers are fingerprint sensors. Maybe.
Yes?
Objection!
Nope.
I feel like I'm gonna have to pull up a walkthrough, like, which is annoying because one, I've played through this game already, so I should technically know the evidence, but I don't remember. Okay, hold on.
I think it's the attorney's badge.
You're right. Should be. I don't. The prints have been wiped.
Wait!
But wait, the
I got
fingerprints
it.
wouldn't have appeared.
Exactly. Oh my
no,
God,
but-
we're stupid.
But Marshall is still saying that the murderer wouldn't have happened to just touch it anyway, on accident.
If the murderer was wearing gloves, then there would have been no bloody handprint.
Objection!
No, because it's the fact that Marshall is saying that the fingerprints and the bloodstained handprint have nothing to do with each other. Because he's saying the murderer just happened to touch the place. Yup, fuck it. I'm looking up the thing, but I'm gonna be salty about it. We didn't press this one.
Hold it!
Is that really why?
Then there's another thing. We do have to present something, but I didn't see what we had to present.
How do you know that?
I may be a loner, but I still do my job. I keep up on the reports. There was a bloodstain at the scene, thought to be left by the murderer.
Thanks for standing obvious there, Brett. That's right. It was found on Detective Gumshoe's locker.
Your Honor, fuck it. Detective Gumshoe did it.
What?
However, no fingerprints were detected on that handprint.
Oh yeah, I think we tried that too.
So that would mean the murderer wearing gloves happened to place their hand on top of Officer Marshall's fingerprints. That's the only logical conclusion. Are you starting to get the picture, partner?
The picture?
This seal of blood in the desert is just food for the buzzards.
This man doesn't get to the point. I'm gonna kill him. And
There's
he's
only
entirely their
one
family.
There's only one reality, and that's this.
The security tape.
So long as my trail isn't in there, you can't say otherwise. This isn't getting us anywhere, Mr. Wright. Please consider carefully where you're going with this cross-examination.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now then, continue your testimony, Officer Marshall. I can't remember. I don't know if we present or if we press again. I think, if anything, we should present.
Objection!
Not the video. Never mind. I'm gonna guess that we press because for some reason the game's being bullshit.
Hold it!
All right.
What do you mean by that?
You want to tie me to this crime, isn't that right, partner? If
I
so,
don't want to, but
that video is the only direct evidence you have.
Objection!
but that video is next to useless. It's full of blind spots,
Blind spots?
places you can't see. The camera's panning back and forth. The floor isn't shown. If someone was familiar with the camera's position, they could leave the room without being caught on tape.
Objection!
We don't have time for your speculations, Mr. Wright. Well, Mr. Wright, if you can show us evidence in this video that indicates Officer Marshall was present, please do so now. Believe we can. But just in case,
Well,
I'm gonna save. Because, let's be honest, a lot of people do save scum in.
allow me to point out your mistake, Officer Marshall.
Tread carefully, Mr. Wright, or you might wind up being the one making the mistakes. Now then, let's have another look at the video. Show us this incriminating evidence of the witness, Officer Jake Marshall. Okay, I can fast forward. I think it's the fact that his locker doesn't have anything sticking out, but then it does. So, I'm trying to be careful not to make sure we don't get claims when the video's all playing and all that. So I'm gonna speak over the Blue Badger theme. Okay, add pause. Because look, the cloth is now sticking out of it. So
Take that!
Bring your attention back to the security camera. Is a mistake I'm afraid you'll soon not forget, Officer Marshall.
the days are short in Texas, and so are our tempers. You're from LA. You're not from Texas. Could you sum up what you have to say in 8 words or less?
Well, you can clearly be seen in this video.
Exactly 8 words. Not bad, partner.
The key lies in a certain locker shown in the video.
That locker with the white cloth sticking out? That was the witnesses, I believe.
Now then, let's rewind the video a bit.
Too bad, it goes very slowly.
Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to tell the court to get better video surveillance.
Oh, the white cloth. It's gone. What's the meaning of this, Officer Marshall?
When the crime took place, the white cloth wasn't there. Then it suddenly appeared. There's only one explanation. Officer Marshall, you were in the evidence room at the time of the crime. What's more, you opened your locker when the camera was turned away.
Order, order. It would hold your horses. Sorry, partner, but you got the wrong man. I didn't even get a chance to read what the judge said. Great. So what if my locker was opened? That doesn't mean that I'm the one who opened it. The murderer needed to hide something, so he opened the locker and stuck it in. It's not my fault he happened to choose mine.
I've already found the contradiction.
Why is everyone staring at me like I'm a wanted man? Marshall.
This guy isn't just playing dumb. He really doesn't know.
I mean, Gumshoe did say, Phoenix, that there are people on the force who don't know about the locks. I mean, I think it's in the, it's actually in the, evidence for it, isn't it? There are some people who don't know. No, it doesn't.
I hate to rain on your parade, but you're the only person who can open that particular locker.
Oh yeah? I call your bluff. You say I opened that locker. Now prove it. What evidence do we show, Jaden?
I think the attorney's badge, you know?
You're right, it's Bruce Goodman. It's the King of Prosecutors trophy.
Yes.
Yeah, we show the actual evidence locker itself, because they can only be opened by the specific detective it's assigned to. Fingerprint sensor?
We talked about this earlier today. The lockers can only be opened by detectives they belong to.
What kind of crazy talk is this?
Well, Detective Gumshoe did mention something about this.
Hey, you're gonna be Gumshoe.
In any case, the lockers aren't that obvious. There are even some people on the force that don't know about the fingerprint locks. So, Sheriff, what do you have to say in 8 words or less?
You playing that card on me, partner?
That's exactly what I'm doing, fuckface. What is he doing?
I only got one word for you, partner. No! Order, order, order. Witness, explain yourself. If this is a joke, it's the worst I've ever heard.
I assure you, this is no joke, Officer Marshall. Now then, please tell us what you were doing in the evidence room at the time of the crime.
Ole, please answer the question.
What the hell?
I mean, Ole is Spanish, Your Honor.
What is he now, a bullfighter? That's right, Officer. That's all right, Officer Marshall. I believe we can figure the rest out from here.
He can?
Have a look at these floor plans. There is no place for someone to hide in the evidence room. Yet Officer Meekins didn't see Officer Marshall.
If that's so, then where was the witness? It seems Mr. Wright has an answer.
You bet your ass I do. The only possible conclusion.
That's what Phoenix said in his head instead of that's right. You bet your ass!
You bet your ass.
Well then, let's hear it. Let's have you bet your ass on this, Mr. Wright.
With pleasure, Your Honor.
Where was Officer Marshall at the time of the crime?
Well,
Couldn't have hidden. So, where was he? He had to have been somewhere in the evidence room.
there's no way.
What? There's no way what?
There's no way he's not the victim.
You think he's the victim? Because I mean,
There's no way.
the victim in this case would be Goodman. The killer would be Meekins.
Okay, so he'd be the killer then.
No, because Meekins is the one that was arrested for the supposed killing. So Meekins is the killer. Or Meekins is, at least in this scenario, Meekins is the killer. It only really leaves one option. So, should we send it?
What option would that be? Because I'm missing it.
That he was the victim. It's the only option.
I mean, let's go for it. Officer Marshall was standing right here.
There? But that's where the victim, Detective Goodman, was.
Correct. Unless the man wasn't Detective Goodman. I believe the victim in the video is Officer Marshall. It was you, dressed up like Detective Goodman.
Objection!
But that's preposterous. Officer Meekins witnessed the detective at the crime scene. Once he saw the man's face, he'd know for sure.
Objection!
May I point out, though, that Officer Meekins did not know Detective Goodman. He also testified about the man's reaction when he was confronted.
Now you get to be Meekins.
When I entered the rooms, for God's sake,
You
no,
went-
I'm going
you went
wrong
bellboy.
voice now. I went bellboy.
More wimpy, remember?
When I entered the evidence room, I asked him to show his card, sir. Yes? And how did Detective Goodman respond? He suddenly pulled a knife on me. Was the megaphone really necessary for that?
Yes, it's all Meekins is.
Something about the officer's story puzzled me. If the man just had his ID card, why didn't he show it?
I mean, it typically said had his ID card, but
Oh,
Right.
bad.
yeah, but not just. But yeah, still the same point. Yes, he would have needed it to enter the evidence room, so he must have been carrying it.
The answer is simple. He couldn't show it. As you can see, Detective Goodman's picture is on this ID card.
I'm not sure about that, Phoenix. It doesn't look like it has his picture on it, does it? It's just silver. Oh, I get it.
If he showed that, his cover would have been blown. Officer Meekins wouldn't have realized the man wasn't Detective
Said
Goodman.
would, not wouldn't.
Oh, would have realized. I got issues.
We both do.
Do you know anything? Do you have anything to say to this, Officer Marshall?
We're both autistic, if anything.
Yeah, I need to get tested.
You've got quite an imagination, partner. We got a term for that. It's called circumstantial evidence.
Circumstantial evidence. He's still denying it.
You're gonna have to do better than that. Fuck. I pulled the bluff out of your book. You're gonna have to do better than that to break a detective.
Take something out of my book,
Unless you
partner.
have hard evidence proving I dressed up as the victim. I can't say I particularly care for your uncooperative disposition. I can't say I care for your beard. You don't see me complaining.
Said that
Well,
already.
Mr. Wright, do you have any evidence proving beyond a shadow of a doubt that this man hates my beard? That Officer Marshall dressed up as the victim?
Well, first of all, Your Honor, I can prove the first part. He said it about twice now, and well, who am I kidding? I don't have anything like that.
That was a good play into the actual line. Good job. I can see the fear in your eyes, partner. Seems you're the one who couldn't take the desert heat.
I can't believe this is happening. It's so obvious he's the one. What can I do?
It looks like your lack of experience has finally been exposed.
Edgeworth, I saved your ass.
I'll pass on to you what someone told me when I was just starting out. You should forge evidence, Miles.
You forge evidence, Miles. Obi-Wan, what the fuck?
That was Von Karma. Where is he? When you've run into a wall with no place to go, return to the basics.
The basics.
Did Mia fucking tell him that?
For me, that would be what Mia used to tell me.
Oh great, I get to be Mia again. Great! Phoenix, try thinking outside of the box.
Shouldn't look for proof that Officer Marshall was in disguise. But rather, I should look for the evidence that came about because he was in disguise.
Why do you think this locker was opened in the first place? What do you mean? There's no reason for Officer Marshall to open his locker at the time of the crime. Yet he did, despite the chance it might be discovered later as it has been.
Which means he didn't originally plan to open his locker.
I do remember what evidence we need to show for this, at least. According to the defense's argument, Officer Jake Marshall dressed up as Detective Goodman at the time of the crime. Then, after the crime was committed, he opened his own locker for some unknown reason. Do you have an idea of what evidence we need to show, Jaden? I'm giving you time to think, that's all.
I'll have to have a look at the evidence, because I have an idea.
The fact that a white cloth is sticking out of the locker seems to indicate that he opened it in order to put the cloth inside. So, just what exactly is this piece of cloth?
Perhaps the video is key to all our unanswered questions.
Oh, we don't have to present the video? We just have to go through it?
I don't have any evidence. The video is my only shot.
Would the video have been your idea either way?
Yes.
Do you have an idea of what the white cloth might be? Just, come on.
Sure. Is he planting evidence? Is he trying to put it on someone else?
Well,
Like,
no, because it's his locker. Again, he didn't know about the fingerprint sensor, so he just chose his locker to put it in because he could open it. So, he had to put the cloth in there for some reason. Very well. Let's take another look at the security tape. After committing the crime, the witness opened the locker and put away the white cloth. Please show us why this witness had to open his locker. Do you want me to fast forward it, or is there a specific part in this you want to see?
I honestly don't know.
I'll fast forward it a bit, because you should figure out what it is quite easily, I think. Did you see it? Do you need me to rewind?
Hang on. Okay, rewind a second. He was wiping off blood on the jacket.
Meekin's blood got on the jacket, so the white cloth has to be the coat.
For some reason, you disguise yourself as Detective Goodman and enter the evidence room, although I don't know to what end yet.
Yet.
However, something unexpected happened. Officer Meekins barged in on you. When asked to show your ID card, you pulled a knife on him. However, Officer Meekins panicked, and the white coat you were wearing was soiled with blood.
A bloody white coat?
You couldn't just walk out like that, so you hid the coat in your locker.
Not bad, partner. Now then, Officer Marshall. Are you ready to tell us the truth? Looks like I underestimated y'all. I hope you're happy now, Mr. Edgeworth. Why me specifically, Marshall? 2 years ago. If you were only half as persistent then as you are today, we all wouldn't have to be here now, would we?
Officer Marshall, tell the court what you did. All of it.
Alright. Seems the time has come. I had to do it that day. I couldn't just stand by and let it die. I stole the detective's ID and dressed like him. I planned to take out the evidence. I wasn't expecting Officer Meekins. I knocked him out. I managed to escape. I knew which areas couldn't be caught on the camera. There wasn't any murder in the evidence room at 5:15. So the supposed victim was really you? But there's one thing I still don't understand. Traces of a large quantity of blood were found on the floor of the evidence room. If no one was murdered, then how could that be? Officer Meekins managed to cut his own hand. My guess is he's the donor.
It was way too much blood for such a small donation.
Thing is, I know the evidence. Again, I don't know where we present it. I think it's the first statement, though. I had to do it, I just couldn't stand by and let it die. Do you have an idea of what Marshall's on about and what evidence we need to show?
Oh.
Do you want to look through the evidence again?
Yes. Let's see.
If anything, it's one of these.
Wait, so it's either...
Here's the thing, though. The only thing that makes sense, Jaden, is the SL9 incident. He couldn't stand by and let it die. But the thing is, I don't know if we press first, then present. Or if we present, and then we continue.
I don't know.
Let me make sure I've saved. And I'll present it first, and if not, we'll press through again.
Objection!
No. Because it's not contradictory.
Hold it!
We press first then.
When you say it, you mean...
You even have to ask, partner.
The SL9 incident.
2 years have passed since the case was closed. It was going to completely end with the transferal that day. Not if I had anything to do with it. That incident's not over.
But what did you hope to accomplish by sneaking into the evidence room?
When a case is closed, only that case's lead detective can look through the evidence. I wanted to have a look at it for myself one more time. No matter what the cost. I don't care if what anyone says, partner. That case is mine.
Officer Marshall wasn't in charge of that investigation. Why does he care so much about it?
That day was my last chance. That's why I stole the detective's ID and dressed like him. I plan to take out the evidence. Oh, this one was Meekins. Should we just keep pressing then?
I guess so.
Because the thing is, I know we have to present the SL9 file at some point.
Why did you disguise yourself as Detective Goodman?
If I didn't make it look like Goodman was carrying out the evidence transferal, I'd be arrested for stealing evidence, which wouldn't get me anywhere. So you did it to fool the security camera. And the detective's ID card? I stole that the morning of the incident.
So that really was why Goodman started filling out that lost item report.
I returned his ID card. I left it on the floor of the prosecutor's office parking lot.
The ID card I found was left there by Officer Marshall.
So essentially, you managed to succeed despite your lack of foresight. What do you mean, partner? I mean the fingerprint-activated lock, of course. No matter how well you disguise yourself, you can't change your fingerprints. Under normal circumstances, you wouldn't have been able to open that locker yourself.
But he could because a rubber glove just happened to get stuck in the door. That means Detective Goodman must have opened the locker before Officer Marshall.
I guess I just keep pressing it for now.
I guess so. You pulled a knife on Officer Meekins and tried to drive him off.
Let's just say I was a little surprised. I only planned on being in the evidence room for no more than 5 minutes. I didn't think anyone would actually come in during that short time. Officer Meekins certainly is a 1 in a million type of person. Mistaking a detective for an intruder and demanding to be shown his ID. I'll have to think a little more about his raise this year.
How did Edgeworth get so much influence?
When he became a prosecutor. Anyway, he threw himself at me and I ended up cutting him slightly. I'm sorry it had to turn out that way. With me knocking him out and everything.
By the way, what happened to your knife?
Oh, you mean this one?
I don't know what to say.
So you knocked Officer Meekins out and... Let's just get spells.
So you did your research beforehand?
Those who go into the desert unprepared don't live long, partner. I think it would make a difference, though. The security tape is erased every 6 hours. If all had gone as planned, no footage would have been left. However, you bloodied your coat, in your struggle with Officer Meekins. If someone was in the security room when I came out, the jig would have been up. I opened my locker and stashed it in there.
What's Officer Meekins doing during that time?
What else? He was sleeping like a baby. So what you're saying is, on that day, there wasn't a murder in the evidence.
What the blood found at the scene certainly indicates a crime took place.
What are you, blind? The victim shown on that tape is me, and I'm not dead yet, partner. So you stole the evidence from the locker. Actually, no I didn't. Why not? When I opened the locker, the evidence was already gone. What? Mr. Edgeworth, where is that evidence? It's still missing, Your Honor. How was Edgeworth meant to know?
Goodman's locker was already empty. Someone else stole the evidence. Officer Marshall, may I ask you one thing?
Fire away, partner. It's a free country. Just remember, I'm also free to decide whether or not to answer.
Why did you do this? Stealing a detective's ID, injuring a police officer. This is no small offense.
Moreover, you're an officer yourself. This will have serious consequences. It can't just be forgiven with a simple cut in salary.
Not that salary cuts are even a valid solution.
Like I said, this isn't your case. This one is mine. And I'll do anything it takes to get an answer I'm satisfied with. The witness has an unusual amount of zeal. Let's hear more. I can't just forget the SO9 incident. You know why.
Tell me why.
Ain't nothing but a heartache, pal. Well, Jaden, I mean, we already looked at the evidence and you pointed out a certain fact.
That was. My brain is melting here.
Well, I mean, I already told you which evidence we need to present and where.
The files, the SL incident files.
And you pointed out one key fact about the file. Can you remember what fact you pointed out?
He was in them.
Yeah, I mean, Officer Marshall is. There's another factoid that you pointed out.
There's another Marshall in there.
There's a different Marshall.
There's O'Neill Marshall. It's just Neil Marshall.
Yeah.
I read that bullet point and said O for a second.
O'Neill. Elwood O'Neill.
Objection!
Oatmeal Marshall. Officer Marshall, I think I understand. I think I know why you care so much about the SL9 incident.
Sounds like you've been sipping too much cactus juice, partner.
I have the SL9 incident file right here. The name, Marshall, is mentioned in here. In the list of murder victims. Neil Marshall. Are you related to this man?
Neil Marshall? Yeah, I'm sure you've heard the name. 2 years ago, he received the same lousy prosecutor award you got. What? A prosecutor?
We're talking about the King of Prosecutors Award.
Now I remember. Prosecutor Neil Marshall. He handled the SL9 case before I did. That's right. He was killed. And the case fell into your hands. But what's his relation to you? He was my brother. He was investigating the murders with Damon Gant, the deputy chief of police. The group of detectives I was part of worked under him. We were desperate to prosecute the killer. That's Joe Dark. Joe Dark. My brother fought Dark and was killed. That was the first time Dark left behind any evidence. That was all we needed. He was arraigned and incarcerated. The case was finally closed. At least, according to the public records. What do you mean? My brother couldn't have been killed by Joe Dark. I knew my brother better than anyone. No one could have beaten him in a fight. And that's it? That's your reason for your insane actions? There's more to my brother's death than what the records say. No matter how much you try to hide it, you can't fool me. Well, at least one thing's for certain. Now we know what happened at the police department on the day of the crime. That was the last day the SL9 case could have been reopened. Not satisfied with his resolution, Officer Marshall planned to steal the evidence.
Disguising himself as Detective Goodman, he entered the evidence room. Officer Meekins confronted him, so he rendered him unconscious and fled.
Yes, this mystery has finally been cleared up. No murder took place at the police department that day. The things that happened by chance never cease to amaze. At exactly the same time as the murder at the prosecutor's office, this fake murder was going on at the police department.
It's gotta be more than just that.
So, no one was murdered at the police department on the day of the crime. That means the murder in the prosecutor's office parking lot was the real one. Which in turn means only one person could have committed the crime. Chief Prosecutor Lana Skye.
Objection!
Wait, a verdict wasn't reached in yesterday's trial.
Objection!
Which is why we examined the incident at the police department today.
What?
There's only one reason the defendant was not convicted yesterday. There yet remains the mystery of the simultaneous murder at the police department. Seems to me, this boy's got the draw on you, partner. All of the mysteries at the police department have been resolved, no doubt about it. Our sole murder took place at the prosecutor's office. The only suspect is Lana Skye. And the testimony of one Miss Angel Star is completely incontestable. If you have a response, make it a single word or less. That didn't pick up. It still didn't really pick up.
Give me one moment. Ah!
There we go. Sorry, listeners. I rest my case. Seems this trial has reached its conclusion. There's no doubt about it. My teeth just did a weird whistle that it usually does. Well done, Mr. Wright. Thanks to you, I didn't need to waste my time disproving the alleged murder at the police department.
There's no doubt what I proved today is true. The apparent murder on the security camera's tape really was fake. But I didn't realize that would end up proving Lana guilty.
Now then, the time for the verdict has arrived. This court finds the defendant
Oh my god.
Emma! Okay, I gotta be Emma again. Gotta remember how I did Emma's voice. It's not quite Maya, but it's close.
Yeah.
Your Honor, wait.
Emma.
The defense has an objection. A scientific objection. I opened the court record on accident. Sorry. Right?
What do you mean, right?
That's your name. That's your name. Mr. Wright. Are you this girl's guardian?
Your Honor. Oh, in a sense.
Please, Your Honor. All I'm asking for is a minute of your time. Please hear me out. Mr. Edgeworth, please. I don't want to leave any loose ends. You want a minute? I'll give you 3.
Generous of you, Edgeworth.
I was kind of in shock. I mean, finding out the SL9 incident referred to the Joe Dart killings.
Now that she mentions it. The names of both Skye sisters were in that file.
But that's when I figured it out. I mean, what Officer Marshall was trying to do that day. So I knew his fingerprint had nothing to do with the crime. That left only one thing. The other handprint. You mean the traces of blood found on Detective Gumshoe's locker? But no fingerprints were found on it, right? No, but I figured if I examined it scientifically, I'd be sure to find a clue. So I ran over there and looked at it again.
So did you find something?
No.
Huh?
Sorry. I guess I'm not much of a scientific investigator after all.
Is that all?
Please don't be mad. I'm just a high school student.
I'm just an attorney.
And I'm just a prosecutor. And I'm just a judge. But
Guys, be quiet. Right, Your Honor, I object to your dickness. Right, this is a high school student. Right, we're supposed to support her, not make fun of her.
I was just stating that I'm a judge, Mr. Wright.
Deal with it, Your Honor. You have a plaque that says you are. You don't need to announce it to the world.
But, Mr. Wright, those traces of blood are the only clue we have. If we can't find something wrong with them... Please, Mr. Wright, you're a professional. If anyone can save Lana, it's you.
Oh boy.
Time's up. Now then, Mr. Wright. With regard to the incident at the police department, does any reasonable doubt remain? It appears the defense is troubled by the other blood mark. Looking at the floor plans, the handprint was discovered around here. Is there a problem with this? Mr. Wright, I'm sorry I can't be of more use. But still, if you can't find anything wrong with that blood mark, Lana will be... Please answer my question, Mr. Wright. We don't have all day.
Yes, Your Honor. I need to concentrate. It's now. What could be wrong with that handprint on Detective Gumshoe's locker?
I'm just gonna quickly save. Do you have an idea of what's wrong?
Well, I don't know.
Would you like to quickly look at the evidence again?
Yes.
What evidence do you want to look at?
Second.
What? Think. I'm just speaking to make sure I don't get claimed on the music.
There's
If you have an
Meekin's-
idea, just say.
Meekin's cut his hand, right?
Correct.
So why is there a bloody handprint on Gumshoe's locker?
Meekins wasn't wearing gloves, and the fingerprint doesn't. There's no fingerprints. It's a gloved bloody mark. I will say you're on the right track with something to do with Meekins. There is something that Meekins did, which is why the handprint is still there. Do you want to
He wiped it
quickly?
off.
No, the handprint is there. He didn't wipe it off.
Then
Do you
I don't know.
wanna-
I'm at a complete loss.
Do you want to quickly look at... We have something which can show us the crime scene and show us Detective Gumshoe's locker and all that.
Let's look at it. Where is Gumshoe's locker? It's on that. It's on the other side.
I'll tell you right now, it's in the very middle right there. Not in the middle. It's the one on the right. Is there something wrong with Gumshoe's locker currently?
Not that I can see.
You should be able to see. It's very much staring you in the face.
Is it?
Yeah. Right now, it's covering Marshall's face.
A fucking. Aww.
I wanted to lead you on a bit, but
A fucking thing.
the handprint wouldn't be there if the blue badger wasn't there. But the handprint is there, which means that it had to be there before the badger was placed.
Before the badger was there, yeah.
You want to quickly reread this line?
What could be wrong with that handprint on Detective Gumshoe's locker? Could there be something I'm missing? Yes,
Objection!
Something is missing from the floor plans.
his handprint left at the crime scene clearly shows a contradiction.
The only thing that seems clear is your grasping, Mr. Wright. You've been staring pretty intently at those floor plans. Yeah, we had to look through the evidence. Tell me, is there a problem with them?
Yes. This is strange. Take a look at these floor plans.
A good look.
Something is missing.
Missing? You mean something hasn't been drawn on there?
Yes. Something that, when drawn, will completely change the meaning of the blood mark.
Let us pray the defense isn't simply trying to buy time. Very well, Mr. Wright.
With all this evidence here, there's got to be something I can use.
The question is, which item can prove something is missing in the floor plans? I can't remember if we need to show the footage or the blue badger itself.
Let's try Blue Badger first.
Blue badger itself. Yep, here we go. What about that piece of plywood?
Blue Badger, mascot of the police force. Defender of truth, guardian of proof.
Explain yourself, Mr. Wright. How do you know so much about the blue badger lore?
Simple, I do my homework, Edgeworth. Please look at the floor plans of the crime scene. The Blue Badger is not here.
So?
So, watch what happens when we put him in. This is why he was dancing at the time of the crime. He was casually dancing when the fucking...
Yeah.
Well...
Well, what? God!
That's right. So long as the Blue Badger is dancing there, it would be impossible to place a handprint at this spot on the locker.
What? So that means, just exactly what does that mean?
Your Honor, you can't be this stupid. It means it can't be done.
I'm gonna go home and jingle keys and wonder how I got this job. What are you saying? Blood traces were undeniably found on the locker.
Don't look at me. I didn't put it there.
Mr. Wright, think it through scientifically.
Emma.
When the hell did you get to my side? On that afternoon, Officer Meekins was the one who brought the Blue Badger to the evidence room, right? After he put it down, it would be impossible to leave a handprint on that locker.
That must mean this blood mark. It was left there before the Blue Badger was brought in.
Just one moment. I will not allow such far-fetched balderdash in my courtroom. That's a fun word. Well, both words, actually. Far-fetched and balderdash. Very fun words.
It may sound far-fetched, Your Honor, but it's the only possible explanation. On February 21st, in the police department's evidence room, blood was spilled not once, but twice.
But how?
One time was captured on this tape, taken by the security camera. Officer Meekins cut his hand, from which a trivial amount of blood fell. The problem is the other time.
Okay.
Someone bled prior to the struggle shown on this tape. It had to have been Detective Goodman when he was really murdered.
I have to keep talking over this one because this is what got claimed. That's ridiculous. I refuse to accept your absurd claim.
This murder portrayed in the security tape has been proven to be a fake. However, that does not explain the blood mark found on the locker.
So then, assuming this murder you purport really happened, when did it take place? I demand you show evidence that proves when it occurred.
When did the first incident occur?
We do have something that shows it. To summarize the defense's claim... To summarize, the defense claims that prior to Officer Meekins being cut by Jake Marshall, who was posing as Detective Goodman, another incident took place at that evidence room.
That's right. The blood mark on the locker proves this.
Very well. Then tell us. When did the first incident occur? As Mr. Edgeworth said, proof must be presented.
That shows when the murder took place. There's only one piece of evidence that can show that.
Do you know which evidence? Can you remember? It has been a while.
No. Open the evidence. Open
We're gonna open the evidence. Where is it? It shows everyone who entered the evidence room.
Yeah.
And currently there are only 2 people who didn't enter before Meekins put it in. Unknown and Edgeworth. Fuck it, Edgeworth did it. What? That doesn't mean I committed genocide. Alright, that's another one for the counter. Now then, will the defense please present its evidence? What shows when the first crime took place?
Has to be the logs.
It's a little thing called the ID card record.
If the crime took place inside the evidence room, then the killer would have had to have entered. And in order to do so, an ID card would have been required.
An ID card? Oh, the ID card report.
Officer Meekins brought the Blue Badger panel into the evidence room at...
Let's see here. 4:50 p.m. If the crime took place before that, then it would be 4:40 p.m. Ah! Ah! Miles Edgeworth? Just what have you done? I never would have figured you had the nerve, boy. Drop the act, witness. It doesn't take a lot of thought to figure out it couldn't have been me. I was very loud when I did that. I think my sister might have heard. Who knows? Nope, I ain't getting it. I'm afraid I don't understand either. It's clear from the luminol test that blood was there. However, when the second crime took place, both Officer Meekins and Officer Marshall failed to notice the blood.
That means the blood from the first crime was wiped away by the real murderer.
I would have had just 10 minutes to murder the victim, carry his body away, and clean up the blood. Unfortunately, that's physically impossible. That would mean the crime must have taken place before Mr. Edgeworth entered the evidence room.
Let's look at the chart again. There's only one other card number remaining. 7777777. I don't know if I said it 7 enough times.
That's
there we
8
go.
sevens. That's 1 7 too many.
Well, I'll do.
Talk about a lucky number. But wait, that doesn't make sense. How could Detective Goodman have entered the evidence room?
Since there's no record of his card being used beforehand, he must have entered along with the real murderer. That's the only plausible explanation. He went in with... I'm not saying it again.
7777777.
Thank you.
Mr. Edgeworth, please look into this ASAP. Find out whose ID number is 7777777. That's 1 7 too many, Your Honor. Unfortunately, I'm unable to look up the owner of that ID card. At least, at present.
What?
Explain yourself, son. The ID number 7777777. I think that was right. Hold on, let me do that again. 7777777. Yes. Belongs to someone with a rank of captain or higher. Someone who is a so-called executive officer. We don't have the authority to inquire into such a person's identity.
Objection!
That's ridiculous. Just how...
I'm not finished talking, Mr. Wright. There is one situation in which we can be granted such authority. If an official charge filed against the executive is accepted.
Official charge.
You're all alike, aren't you? With your cover-ups and your forgeries. That's how the prosecutor's office operates.
Objection!
Why so many P's? I spat on the opposite side of my mic! I take pride in my work, Officer Marshall. I would appreciate it if you would keep your slander to yourself. Slander, is it? Okay. Let me ask a question. Yes? No, not to you. To her. The defendant sitting over there. Your own little executive.
Lana?
Objection!
Don't be stupid. She's been charged with murder. Of course, we've looked up her ID number, and it's not 7777777. Don't play me for a fool, partner. That's not what I wanted to ask. All I want to know is one thing about that incident. The SO9 incident? Answer me this, Chief Prosecutor. In that trial 2 years ago, did you really only use legitimate evidence? Do you need the witness to repeat his question, Chief Prosecutor? I heard him fine, Mr. Edgeworth. 2 years ago, I was in charge of the prosecution for that trial. At the time, we, Occasionally, we felt the powerlessness of the law. At least, I did.
What?
Lana? I became a prosecutor in order to suppress crime with the law. But, before I realized it, we were the ones being suppressed by the law. Defendant, just what are you saying? I'll ask you again, Chief Prosecutor. During that trial 2 years ago, did you really present all the evidence in court? Can you look me, an investigator in that crime, in the eye and say that you did? Chief Prosecutor, you didn't. I don't have to, Officer Marshall. Why won't you answer him? Drastic crimes require drastic measures. That's just the way it is. We did what we had to, in order for him to get the verdict he deserved. But Lana, even if it involved forging evidence.
I cannot believe what I'm hearing.
See, that's what I'm talking about. No! No! Order! 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 This is Phoenix.
Lana's, oh fucking hell.
Yes,
The chaos in the courtroom could only quell the conclusion of the trial. Would have to wait until the following day.
It said, Lana's something caused quite a stir, I believe. Either way, we did it, Jaden. We're at the end of that one.